because all these companies that they work for, brokerage houses, banks, insurance companies, big corporations, they're all in on it because they're producing things offshore and they're making all kinds of money. They're taking that money and they're sending it to the Cayman Islands and they don't pay any taxes on it. I mean, does it get any better than that? And this is what's going on, and that's why politicians won't put on tariffs. And that's why these people offshore, Bangladesh and others, will continue to demean the value of their currency, and we're never going to get anywhere. We're going to get destroyed. We already lost 8 million jobs in the last 11 years to free trade. And we're still losing them. So no matter what they do to the economy on a long-term basis, it can't survive. Now they are going to, I think, and I've said this in the program last week, inject $5 trillion into the economy, they being in the Federal Reserve. And they're going to carry it for another couple of years here. They'll extend unemployment. Unemployment will get a little bit better. Growth will probably run around 2%. But we'll have lots of inflation. And the people will get screwed again because their buying power is going to fall. And so that's where we're headed with this whole thing. And it's not good. It's going to get worse.
Okay. Ava in Indiana comes in with a question. She says, please ask Mr. Chapman, how involved is the UN in all of this?
Well, the UN is involved peripherally. It's the IMF that's deeply involved in it. And the IMF is controlled by the U.S. government. And the World Bank is controlled by the Bank for International Settlements, which is the bankers' bank. And they are part of the Illuminati. So that's how that all works. So the UN is in it up to their eyeballs, but the IMF is even more deeply involved.
Okay. I don't understand the question, Blue Point. Are you an inflationist or a deflationist?
Oh, that's a good question. I understand. And I am neither. I only deal with reality. And I think the Federal Reserve is going to do what they always did, and that is inflate, create money and credit, which I just said. And so if they do that, we'll have inflation. And people will be able to buy less with what they're getting in wages, and the price of gold and silver will go higher. After a time, maybe in a couple of years, we'll have deflation. If we can get hyperinflation, which is excessive amounts of inflation, and deflation would follow. And the only thing that will profit at that time is gold and silver, because it's the only place where you can have your wealth that is going to be protected by the value of two metals which owe no one anything.
Mr. Chapman, like the Weimar Republic of Germany in 1919, it is felt that they were controlled by the Jewocracy. Do you feel that the Jewocracy controls the United States today?
Who was that they say controls?
I guess he's really trying to say the Zionist Jews.
Oh, no. First of all, you know, of the Jewish people, that I run into, 80% of them are not Zionists. So I don't think it's fair to put them in the same category. I don't like Zionism. I think it's wrong. I think they're nothing but a bunch of Nazi thugs. And I've always felt that way. And what they're doing there, I think, is very wrong. And but the average Jewish person is not involved in that and shouldn't be included in that, and that's unfair. It's just like saying, you know, all dispensationalists are bad. And that's not true.
Well, wait a minute. That's like saying that all Southerners are racist. I mean,
that's right.
Let's get in.
Or rednecks from Arkansas.
Or rednecks from Arkansas.
But you could see the stupidity in the statement. You should never do that with any group. With Zionists, it's different. They run a country, and they continue to be aggressive. It's obvious they want to take over the Middle East, and that's not good. And that's not why the State of Israel was created by Benjamin Disraeli and Lord Balfour, and they were the ones who were behind it. And so it's a question that I think I've answered.
Asked and answered, and I agree. Mr. Chapman, the UN Agenda 21, are you familiar with that?
Sure am. And we just had the president sign a executive order for the law of the sea, and they're trying to go around having a treaty. And there's going to be a big fight over it. They've been trying to do this for about 40 years. And now they've finally gotten around to it.
All right, guys. The phone number is 347-308-8047 if you want to call in and ask your own question. And we do have open lines there. We just have a little trouble bringing them up, and but we can bring you in if you decide to call in. Remember, when you call in, press 1 so you raise your hand up, and we'll know you're in there. Go back to the question and answers here. Where'd it go here? From the Marine Corps. Greece has literally run out of gas, Mr. Chapman. There's literally no gasoline at most of the pumps over here, and the economy is not just tanked, it's fried. Do you think that the rest of the world's going to wake up and understand that these people don't have any money, that they're living off of what those of us that are here, that are working in the embassies, are bringing into this country?
No, they're trying to keep that message away from the people. We cover Greece quite closely in the International Forecaster. As you know, I've been on radio and television there, and I've been interviewed by the largest newspaper in the country. And so, yes, that is a condition over there. And the people are saying to government, no, we do not want to be bailed out. We want to go bankrupt, and we want to get rid of the euro, go back to the drachma, and straighten our own government out. And that's the reason for the strikes that are causing the lack of fuel. And the man who runs the country, Papandreou, he's a Bilderberger and a member of the Illuminati. And there are a number of highly placed people in the government and in business in Greece who are Illuminists.
Agreed. Lana, if you'll hold on, we'll ask your question when we come back from the break. We've got a little short one here that I'll let Mr. Chapman have first, if you don't mind. This one comes from Blue Point. Will the euro survive the next 5 years? Now, I know you've answered that before, but Blue Point News, just let you have the question one more time.
No, I don't think it will. I think it's got a possible life of 2 years here. But putting a time frame on it's difficult. I thought it would be quicker than that. It may be. But let us just say, to answer the question, the answer is yes. The euro is in for a heap of trouble. And it's all part of the master plan to bring Europeans and Americans to their knees financially and economically so that the people who control governments can implement world government and people will have to accept it. And that's what they're up to. And they're going to try to use the American military against the people to do that. So you should be well aware of it. And you're going to have a choice in the future if you're in the military for your vocation and lifetime. You're going to have to make that choice. And it's not an easy one because you have to answer to the president